Hey guys, this is Chelsea Joy, and today we are going to be doing a very hopefully fun 45-minute martial arts inspired yoga sequence. So, bringing some of the values of martial arts into yoga very subtly. So, what we're going to get started in is just coming onto our bums here. And let's bring our right leg all the way out to start. And what I want us to do is just bring the left heel all the way in, as close into our groin as we can. And we're just going to get started here by pointing the right toes all the way out. And we're just going to gently curl or encircle the left hand around the left ankle here. And if you'd like, you can also place your right hand on top of that right foot. And what I want you to feel into just before we do anything is how your right hamstring is feeling, how your left leg is feeling in general, and also how your left hip is feeling. So if this is feeling too intense already, just stay here. And if not, you can adjust as well. I'm just going to bring my left heel a little bit closer in. If this is feeling okay for you, we're just going to gently bring our torso closer to that foot. If you're still not feeling anything here, you can bring that left heel outward a little bit and then come down and see if that makes a difference. In any case, we're going to start by taking a few deep breaths, really deep into the belly. So I want us to imagine that we're expanding the belly outward on the inhale and on the exhale, just coming down very slowly. And all the way down. Just relaxing the shoulders. If you feel you're holding any tension in your shoulders, just one thing we can do is bring the shoulders up to the ears and slowly release them. It allows us to be a bit mindful of where we're holding the tension. And slowly just bringing your torso a little closer as you exhale. Do that a couple more times, really deep into the belly and all the way out. And when you're ready, we're going to bring both feet in, so just allowing the pads of the feet to come together. And just really gently, what I want us to do to start is almost as if you're gliding your body between your legs, taking a deep breath in, expanding the belly, and rolling between the legs. And close your eyes if you'd like, but we're going to imagine that there's this beautiful energy center right in the core of our belly that we are bringing some fuel to. Inhaling, exhaling. You can bring your heels as close to your groin as you'd like for a bigger stretch. And bringing the shoulders down. Beautiful. One more time. Big breath in. And all the way out. Beautiful. And when you're ready, bring that left leg out all the way, bringing the right heel in as close as you can, encircling the hand around that right heel, just placing your left hand on top of the foot as well, and just allowing that left leg to be nice and long. You can even point your toes towards the ceiling if you'd like for an added stretch. When you're ready, deep breath in, back lengthens, and exhaling over that leg. Few times like this in your own time. Deep breath in, expand the belly. Beautiful. Excellent. And when you're ready, just once more, we're going to bring the pads of the feet together, bring those heels in. This time we're just going to embrace the outside of our ankles with our hands. Just bring your back up nice and straight. And we're going to breathe in, expanding the chest upward, head tilts back. And slowly, we're going to breathe out and press the upper back towards the back wall. So this is going to allow you a lot of space in the upper back. Big breath in. It's almost like cat-cows, but in a seated position. And slowly, all the way out. We're just making sure our back is nice and warmed up for the lovely sequence we're about to do. And once more. This time really pressing, doming even the upper back out towards the back wall. Beautiful. And when you're ready, coming into downward dog. Now, in the downward dog, we're just going to make sure to walk our legs out as much as possible. So pressing the hands into the mat, walking the legs out. If you want to make sure you're in the correct position here, of course, you can always come into a high plank, adjust yourself, and then come back. But in any case, we're just going to walk those heels out a few times to the breath. All right, right leg lifts all the way to the sky, as high as possible, opening up that hip. Big breath in, pressing the hands out. Huge breath in, really expanding that leg towards the sky. Bending that knee, bring that knee into tiger curl. So touching the knee to your nose. If you can't touch the knee to nose, that's fine. It's just about energetically getting it there. But we want to dome the upper back as we bring that right leg forward. Slowly coming halfway. Bringing the arms all the way back as you bring your torso up. Big breath in. I want us to expand our arms outward. Imagine that energy center just in the core of our body, just in the tummy. Big breath in. Hands to prayer. Expanding those arms out and bringing the arms all the way back. And bringing the arms all the way forward. A few times in your own time, bringing the arms all the way back. Feel free to bend the left knee if you'd like. But controlling the energy. So when we bring the arms back, I want you to imagine that you're literally with your hands, bringing the energy backward across your body. And even bring your shoulders back as well. Bringing it forward and all the way back. If you want an extra challenge, you can look towards the sky or even close your eyes if you'd like. Always amazing to feel into it without the sight. Bring the hands all the way back again and forward. Now, if you want an extra little oomph, you can clench the glutes. Now that's going to be a whole nother story. Bring the arms back. And this time bring the arms all the way up into that crescent lunge again. You're going to tap the left knee to the ground. Come all the way up again. Once more, tapping the left knee. Coming up. Bringing the hands to frame that right foot. Stepping back into that beautiful downward dog. So, see here if you feel a little different. So maybe you feel a little more open on the right side. Maybe not. Maybe we're still getting warmed up. It's completely fine. Wherever we're at today. But we just want to bring our heels. I'm looking at my heels right now and I'm just imagining my heels are coming all the way down to the ground. And now we're going to lift the left leg all the way up to the sky. Make sure your hands are really pressed into the ground and we're going to just open up that hip as much as possible. Big breath in. And slowly bending that left knee, bringing that left knee into your nose. Tiger curl. Tapping the left knee to the nose. Stepping forward into that low lunge. Coming all the way up. And expanding the arms. Now, if your room is as hot as mine is at the moment, it's summertime in London, you're gonna be feeling the heat. So wherever you're at, I just want you to remember, control the energy. If you need to get a glass of water, please do, and pause the video. Tapping the right knee to the ground, coming up, remembering to breathe, big breath in, tapping on the exhale, coming up, arms all the way back, so collecting the energy, arms all the way back, bringing your body back, opening the shoulders, bringing the energy forward. A few times in our own time with our breath. See how that feels in your body. Bring your body all the way forward, all the way back. Arms yet again to the sky, looking towards the sky this time. Hands framing the left foot, stepping back into downward dog. We're going to widen our feet expanse. Walk our hands all the way back to the middle of where our feet are. And we're just gonna hang for a moment. Now, if you'd like, you can even grab onto the undersides of your toes. And shake yes and no with your head a few times. And I just want us to do a couple times. Take a deep breath here. So I want you to just imagine you're feeling super stable. So this moment, I like to imagine that we're a tree. So our legs are the trunk of the tree. No matter what happens, we feel stable because our roots are growing strong through our feet into the ground. And no matter how much we sway on top from our leaves and our branches, our tree trunk is solid. Nothing can waver us so much so that our core energy is compromised. So swaying back and forth like that tree. Hopefully you'll feel this in your hamstrings. If not, you can actually keep your expanse less wide. So the wider your feet are, the less you might feel it in your hamstrings. Because when we fold forward, the lesser expanse is going to give us more of a stretch in there. So wherever you're at the moment, swaying back and forth like that tree. And when you're ready, we're going to come down into a yoga squat. Now, if you find it tricky getting your heels to the ground, that's completely fine. You can leave your heels up. But in any case, we're gonna just press our knees apart from each other. So press the knees apart. And I want us to, again, sway back and forth really gently. Closing the eyes down. And just gently back and forth. Swaying. But during this, I want us to remember that energy center right in our bellies. Imagine with each breath you're taking, you're gathering energy just in your core. Slowly now, opening the eyes if they're closed, we're going to just sweep the hands in front of us, almost as if we're gathering energy from the ground. Slowly bring that energy all the way up to the sky. Coming all the way up, arms expanding towards the sky. Big breath in. Slowly, arms to prayer, hands to prayer. Slowly coming down. Doing this a few times. And all the way up. Bending the arms this time, all the way down. Now, as you come up, I'm just gonna turn to the side to show you guys. As you come up, you might find that your butt is ducking out, which means it's like you have a duck butt, basically. That's totally fine. But when we come all the way up, I want us to tuck our tailbone in. So instead of the duck butt, tucking the tailbone in as much as possible when we come up. Big breath in, shoulders soften as we come all the way down. When you come down, really sink into it. Super sinking. All the way up. And as slowly as you can, coming all the way down. Now you can point your toes outward if you like. See how that feels. It might feel a little different. All the way up. And all the way down. And when you reach the ground, just press your hands into the mat or the floor. And I just want us to just feel the energy in the ground and feel nice and stable here. Now, hopefully your elbows are just on the insides of your thighs, or your hamstrings. And we're just going to use our elbows to gently prop our thighs open a little bit. So it's almost, in a way, seems like crow pose set up, like we're going to go into crow. You can if you'd like, but what we want to do is just bring our bodies forward a little bit. So it's kind of a bit of a yang, I don't know, it's a kind of a beautiful yang pose here. So we're just gathering the energy within our core, and we're just pressing those knees outward. And your elbows might feel like a little bit of a massage between your hamstrings. Coming all the way forward and just pressing and putting a lot of weight. And if you have wrist issues, don't do this. But if your wrists are fine, putting that weight into your hands and just allowing the head to drop. And when you're ready, we're gonna just bring those legs nice and straight. And slowly coming all the way up. Yet again, breathing up, and this time just hooking your thumbs together. Slight backward bend. And folding all the way forward, all the way to the ground. And walking your hands forward again into downward dog. So this time we're gonna keep our legs nice and wide. So legs nice and wide, but hands in the traditional downward dog style. And we want to make sure that our neck is nice and long, so not crunching the neck in. Keeping the legs nice and wide. Probably not as wide as I have them right now. Just a little bit wider than a normal downward dog. And bring that right leg up again. So wide hips here. Big breath in. Opening up the hips as much as possible. Big breath in. All the way out. Slowly bringing that right knee in. Again, tiger curling. Touching the knee to the nose. Stepping forward. Low lunge. Coming all the way up. Tapping the left knee to the ground. Do that 2 more times. Big breath in on the as we're upward, all the way down. Looking at one point in front of you, it's the drishti point. So allowing your gaze to not go all over the place, just fixating on one place. All the way up. Hands to prayer. Gliding the hands backward. Gliding the hands forward. and hands back to frame your foot. Stepping back, downward dog. Remember, we want our downward dog to be a bit wider, so legs a little bit wider than hip width distance. Big breath in here, all the way out. Lifting the left leg again, this time left leg all the way up to the sky, opening up the hip as much as possible. Huge breath in here. Bringing that left knee to the nose. Tiger curl. Stepping that left leg forward. Coming into crescent lunge. Tapping. Once, do this super slowly. Twice. Twice more. And arms come back. Big breath in. Arms all the way forward. All the way back. Hands frame the foot. Again, downward dog, wide-legged. Walking the hands back between the feet. Hands around the ankles. Huge breath in. This time we're going to do a halfway lift as we come up, but grabbing onto the outsides of the calves. Folding forward. Elongating the neck. And when you feel good about it, we're going to just move the head back and forth a few times. Shake yes and no with the head. Side to side. Slowly coming all the way up. Slowly, slowly. And this time we're going to grab our hands behind our back here. Meanwhile, remembering the energy center in our belly. So just imagine that beautiful energy center as you bring your arms all the way back. All the way back. Big breath in, looking towards the sky. Slowly rolling all the way down. All the way down. And detaching the hands, sweeping the ground in front of you. Coming all the way up to the sky. Hands to prayer. Folding forward, all the way forward. Coming into the yoga squat. Slowly, all the way up to the sky. And all the way down. Now staying in this yogi squat. I'm gonna turn to the side to show you guys. So what we can do here is either bring the left heel down to the ground flat. Now if you have that range, for me it's a bit more at the moment, but we want to bring the right leg out straight. So it's kind of going to be like a modified skandasana, but we're going to bring the hands to prayer here, just below our breastbone. I'm going to just lean our elbow onto our knee here and just bring our body down a little bit. And I want us to close our eyes. Now if this feels wonky, that's fine, you can open your eyes again. But I encourage you just to relax. Big breath. Opening the eyes, bringing the hands to the ground, doing the same on the other side. So we're human, so we're all going to feel a little different on one side or the other. So, this side I feel a lot less open, and I can't even get my right heel to the ground on this side that I could on the other. Completely fine. So again, hands to prayer. Make sure that leg is nice and stable. You can bring that the right elbow down to the right knee. Big breath in. Slowly. Just bringing your body down. Closing your eyes if you'd like. Big breath in. Opening the eyes. Hands to the ground. Coming back into the yogi squat. Your hips are going to feel so nice after this. And just bring the knees to the elbows to the insides of the knees. Now bringing the hands to the ground and picking the heels up off the floor. Slowly coming up. Big breath in as you travel all the way to the sky. Interlocking the thumbs. Light backward bend, clenching the glutes as well. Bring the arms all the way down. Arms up overhead again. And just clasping the hands behind your back. Slowly, slowly. Coming all the way down. Swaying, swaying, side to side. If you'd like, you can make your expanse wider. I quite like this. And again, it's kind of like a little Skandasana setup. Skandasana is my favorite pose in all the possible yogi poses. I think it's so powerful. And just remember, I forgot for a moment, just remember to allow the head to hang really heavy like a bowling ball at the end of your neck. Back and forth. We're opening up the shoulders here, so remember to bring the arms overhead as much as possible, as if you want to touch the ground in front of you. Remember the breath. And if you'd like, you're gonna have to move forward. I'm gonna touch the table in a sec. If you'd like, you can come down into a full Skandasana. This is quite fun and challenging. So just Skandasana and bring those arms up back overhead. I'm gonna have to adjust my hands. There we go. Arms up overhead. See how close you can get your head to the ground. You can point your toes towards the sky. Big breath in. If at any point this gets too challenging, you can bring a hand to the ground. No problem. And when you're ready, hands to the ground. Coming over to the other side. Feels so good. All right. And hands embraced behind you. Trying to get the head as close as you can towards the ground. And placing the hands on the ground. Placing the knees on the ground. Sitting on those legs for a moment, sitting on the calves. And yet again, we're going to embrace our hands behind our back. Slowly coming down, almost into a modified child's pose. All the way down. Big breath into the belly. Remembering that energy center just in the core of the belly. And remembering that in our life, we can have those beautiful moments of downtime. For some of us, there might not be much, but in those moments, it's so important to focus on recharging that energy center for us. So this is one of those moments where we breathe in deeply, remembering our energy center, remembering that we control our energy at all times. Try to get your hands a little bit more overhead. And releasing the arms, releasing the hands to the sides, and just stretching out, so almost walking your fingertips outward, elongating those arms. Big breath in, expanding the belly as much as you can, and all the way out. Once more like that, huge breath into the belly. All the way out. Slowly bringing the torso all the way back up, super slowly. And this time, we're going to come back into that pose we did originally. We want to see if it feels any different this time. So I'm going to come back a little bit. So bring the right leg out all the way and wrapping and circling the left hand around the left ankle. And yeah, for me this feels a lot different now. Hopefully it does for you too. And we're just going to point the right toes towards the ceiling. And we're just going to bring our whole torso a little bit closer to our feet. And remembering to relax the shoulders. Relaxing the head as much as possible. This is the toning down part of the class, so just remembering it's okay for you to let go. And you can even bring your heel in closer if you want more of a stretch. Just remembering, just in these moments, about that management of energy. I think in this day and age, a lot of us are in such a yang state, more masculine state, which is the doing, the organizing, the regimented schedule. And it's so important to balance that with the more yin, the feminine, the letting go, surrendering, softening, being vulnerable, flowing. It's very important to balance these two, and it's not an easy balance in this life, in this earth, and in this time. So that's why I'm just mentioning that about the energy centers. And sometimes if we just bring it back to our sense of humanity, the fact that we're not actually machines, even though the technology that we have around us almost can enforce us to become, or think we should become, like machines as well. It's so important to remember our humanity. So in those moments of downtime that you might have between picking up the kids and making dinner and going to work, coming back from work, all these things can be as simple as taking a few, say even 2 or 3 conscious breaths in and out. And we're just going to change. Bringing the heel in. So yeah, it's just so important to remember those conscious breaths, because sometimes it's only 1, 2 conscious breaths that can allow us to remember ourselves and our sense of humanity and our connection with our humanness, and then our connection with our spirit as well. So it's very important, even once a day. A few conscious breaths in, even if you don't have time for yoga. Sometimes the breaths are just as important. All right. And then bringing the pads of our feet together. And we're going to embrace the outsides of our toes. And just bringing, so we're going to bring the elbows in, almost like we're bringing them into our groin. And bringing the torso down, relaxing the shoulders. Big breath in, slow breath out. Now, at this moment, I want you to just feel into your body. See how your body is feeling at this moment. See and feel any sensations that might arise in any part of your body. Be it tingling or a heat somewhere, could be a bit of a blockage, could be that your tummy's hungry. Could be so many things, but I just want you to take notice of, in general, how your body is feeling at this moment in time. Now, for myself, I always sense that my energy center in my whole body is just at my solar plexus, which is just above the breasts. If you're a woman, or if you're a man, just above your pecs. And that's a solar plexus, and that's where I personally feel I hold my energy center. Now, some people feel they hold their energy centers in different places. It could be lower down in their belly, underneath the belly button. Could be in their heart space as well. Could be in their neck. Could be in their head, between their eyes, or at the top of their head. Could also be at the base of their spine. So there's many different places that people can envision they hold their main energy center. So when I say the word energy, the core of your energy, I'm curious to know what you feel that is, where you feel that is. And there's no right or wrong, it's just where you feel it. And so throughout the day, I just want us to always remember that when we take those few breaths in and out to recenter ourselves, that we're imagining that that beautiful breath is dilating the energy center. So when we breathe in, it's expanding the energy center outward and bringing us back to our humanity. And as we breathe out, releasing any of the old emotional or mental or physical toxins that we might have accumulated through the day. So it's a really good, just quick visualization that you can use in your days if things get hectic, or even if they don't, it's still a nice one to utilize.
So again, just pointing the elbows in towards the groin, bringing the torso all the way down, allowing the head to relax as much as possible. Two more breaths here. Beautiful. Slowly coming all the way back up. If you'd like, you can grab a bolster, but we're going to come into Shavasana. All the way down, rolling yourself all the way down to the ground. For me, I'm going to keep my feet in, the pads of my feet together. You can bring your body all the way out. Just imagine that your hands are gliding away from each other. And just allow your shoulders to marinate towards the ground. You're going to take a big breath in from wherever it feels you have your energy center today. Huge breath in. Slow breath out. Let's do that a couple more times. Big breath in, expanding the belly. And now just softening. Let's just imagine that our head, the back of our head, is just softening, becoming nice and heavy into the ground. Really, really heavy. And just imagine that your eyes are softening. Space around the eyes, around the edges of your eyes, and the insides of your eyes. Imagine that your forehead is softening down to your temples, down into the jaw and the lips, cheeks, and the chin. Now your entire face and head soft and heavy. Even your ears are relaxed. Now imagine that you're now relaxing your neck down from the bottom of your jaw, down into your neck, even into your voice box and your trachea. Imagine that those are softening completely. Down to your collarbones and the back of your neck. Into your shoulders, down your arms, into your elbows, the outsides and the insides. Down into your forearms. Down into your wrists. And the soft tissue of your hands, down into your extremities, into your fingers. The pads of your fingers are softening. Now bring the attention back to your chest area and imagine that whole area, that whole plate of your chest area is just softening to the ground. Becoming nice and heavy so that your upper back feels weighted into the mat. And now just place your attention to your upper chest, just above your ribs. Imagine that's completely softening all the way to the mat. And just imagine that your attention is making its way down your spine. Whole spine is relaxed and becoming nice and soft. Into the hips. Imagine the backs of your hips are becoming nice and heavy into the mat. And now your glutes completely soft and melting into the mat. And placing your attention on your thighs, upper thighs, and the hamstrings and the knees. Softening completely into the calves, the backs of the heels, the ankles, and the feet and the toes, completely soft and relaxed. Now your whole body should feel very nice and relaxed and heavy. While we're here, let's take a big breath in to the energy center within our body. Slow breath out. Take one more breath like that, but let's pause at the top. Pause the breath at the top for as long as we can. Big breath in, really filling our lungs with air. And all the way out. Bring some life now back in to your fingertips if you're ready. If not, you can stay here for however long you'd like. Just bringing some awareness back into our hands. Bringing some life into our body. If your legs are in butterfly, you can bring your knees together and slowly windshield wiper those legs back and forth. We've done a lot of work on the hips today, so you might be feeling it in the hips. Even bring your knees into your chest and rock back and forth side to side. When you're ready, slowly bringing both knees over to one side and making your way all the way back up to a seated position. And you can close your eyes if you'd like. Just going to use the sound bowl. Take a big breath in and all the way out. Thank you so much for joining me today for this very lovely class. I hope you got a lot of energy out of it, and I hope that you remember that little tip I gave you about the energy center and coming back to breath and coming back to our management of our energy. Thank you so much. Namaste.